Hey everyone, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. Today we're doing an Adobe CC tutorial. We're going to be using Adobe CC Premiere Pro 2015 and we're going to be doing color grading with the Fast Color Corrector. I'm going to show you a simple method for adjusting the white balance in your video footage and adding some color grading to it to just make it pop a little bit more or give it an interesting custom look. The way that I prefer to do this is actually using an adjustment layer so that we can actually have consistent looking footage across multiple clips and subclips. So I'm going to show you how I did that and walk you through it step by step. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and delete my existing adjustment layer so I can show you how to do this completely from scratch. Now you can see what our clip looks like without that. This footage is actually pretty good. It was shot on my Nikon D3200 and it was shot with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens, probably at f2.8. So it's solid footage shot with a great lens, great image quality and color quality, but we can make it a little better. It was a little dark. Maybe it could have been better. Let's fix that in post. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to new item in the bin and we can hit adjustment layer, or if you're not seeing that, you can go to File, New, and hit Adjustment Layer there, and that will create an adjustment layer that is matching the settings of whatever your footage is. You're going to want to drag that adjustment layer to your second video track there, or your third, whatever you're working with, and you want to match it up to all of your footage here. This means that whatever adjustment layer effects we put on here will be consistent across all of our footage. This is similar to stacking an adjustment layer over photos in Adobe Photoshop. So this is a non-destructive way to edit our footage, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and save real quick. So now that we've done that, it's a matter of adding effects. We're going to add the Fast Color Corrector, as I said. If you need to find that, it will be in the effects panel. If you can't find your effects panel, you can go up to Window. Make sure that you select Effect Controls and Effects, and those two panels will become available to you. In my layout, they are here and here. We're going to type into the search Fast, and that will bring up the Fast Color Corrector under our color correction tools. We'll drag that over on top of our adjustment layer, and that is going to bring up the ability to control our effects. So you'll notice we have a lot of different options here. I'm going to cover the main ones that you need. Do not be intimidated by this panel. You only need to really focus on a few things here. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to take the eyedropper for the white balance tool, and we're going to select an area of the image that we feel should be white to white balance this and make sure that it's accurate. So I just picked this one. It's a subtle difference, but it is there. You'll notice that that does affect it. If you pick a different area of the image, however, changes it dramatically. So make sure you're picking something that's supposed to be white when you're trying to white balance. You can see that it does, in fact, make a difference. So we've done that, and we can see that it does affect our overall footage. Okay, so that's a small, subtle change. What if we want this to look dramatically different? I'll get to that in a minute. We're not going to adjust the hue and saturation yet. We're going to go down and we're going to adjust the contrast, and we have these sliders here for input. This one on the far right will make the highlights in the image dramatically lighter. This middle one will affect midtones. This one will affect the black points. If we move this black points one from left to right, you'll notice the image all of a sudden gets very dark. The darks get darker. If we move this one all the way on the right in toward the left, the white parts or light parts get lighter, which is mostly what we want here. But we don't want to go to too far of an extreme on some of that. If we adjust this in the middle, though, and we move it closer to the right, it gets dramatically lighter, and it can even get washed out if we go too far. If we go too far to the left, all of a sudden, oh wow, that's really dark. Almost makes day into night or whatever. So we want to balance this out. We want to do what fits right for our particular footage. So we want to scrub through and just see how this affects everything overall and if it's something that we're comfortable with. So looking at that, it's not bad. We can make this maybe a little lighter, a little darker. We can do whatever we think fits and looks comfortable across the footage overall. Now, if you really wanted to, you could go into each of these pieces of footage and adjust them each manually. Most of this was shot under the same conditions, so I don't feel compelled to do that, but you could. You could even add just multiple adjustment layer tracks if you really wanted to deal with this. But again, you just have to do what works for your footage overall. So I like what we have here. I'm super comfortable with it. Now let's adjust some of this coloring just a bit. We can see that doing our white balance got us here as far as the hue, balance, and angle is concerned. Let's go ahead and make that, though, a little cooler. Let's cool down the temp just a bit more and give this a look that we might want. So that works especially with these effects. We like that. It looks good. It's a lot less orange in there. Now that we've done that, and we've already affected our input levels, let's go ahead and bump the saturation a bit. This was shot, in a camera profile that lets it lend itself very well to color grading. It was shot flat. So let's add maybe 130% of saturation to that to really bring out some of the vibrance in the colors. All right, and all of a sudden, that looks a lot more interesting. So let's look at it without our color grading. Not bad, but not super interesting. All of a sudden, this looks more interesting, unique. We've got more detail in there. We can see what's going on, and it looks pretty good. So that lets us color grade this really quickly, really simply, and now you can apply that to all of your scenes and footage. And again, if these are shot under similar lighting conditions as far as all of your clips in your footage, if you're shooting a film, then consistent color grading like this on an adjustment layer makes sense for you. If you feel that every single piece of footage you want to make sure that it's accurate, you could go into the individual clips and you could add a fast color corrector to it that you feel adjust for that situation, and that could be fine too. I just didn't feel the need to do that here because all of this seems fairly consistent to me based on how I shot it. So I'm fine with it as is. You could do that differently. When you select the adjustment layer or any layer that has effects associated with it, that's when the effects panel will be visible. If you select a clip that doesn't have an effect applied directly to it, you'll see that the effect panel for that disappears. So that's something to keep in mind. This is how I do the color grading of my videos and my shots. So that just gives you some insight into my process and how that all works. This is a really fast way to color correct and color grade your images and to create distinct looks. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, let you understand the tool just a little better, and that you can now execute on making some fantastic images and videos of your own using this technique. If you still have questions or there's a Premiere Pro tutorial you would like me to make, let me know in the comment section and I will try and do that for you. If there's a tool that I haven't covered yet that you want to know more about, or a technique like picture-in-picture or how to make images black and white, I can cover that in future videos. You just have to let me know what you want. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.